And I always have people ask me the same question, in the Republican Party. Why do all those black people down in the city vote Democrat? Why do they continue to vote for a party that, one, promises them things and then doesn't deliver, lies straight to their face? Why do they continue to vote for them? And I've started to try and explain this to people, and I'm going to explain it to you here now. The Democrat liberal order has run the world for the last 60 years. 60 plus years, the Democrat liberal order has run the entire world. When you're on the playground, you have a way of knowing who the bullies are. You have an intuition of who the bullies are and what the consequences are, what the consequences will be if you don't toe the line, if you don't go along with the get along. And that's exactly what black people have done. They've made a coordinated decision to back who they view are going to be the winners. And like I said last weekend, there is a lack of sacred honor in that. There's certainly a lack of righteousness in that. But it doesn't change the reality. The reality is we've been punked. We've been pushed around and punked in the conservative movement. And we continued and we continue. We continue on. Now the question becomes when you see the totality of information, the totality of evidence, when you see with your eyes and you hear with your ears the totality of information, are we being punked or are we being manipulated? Are we having the wool pulled over our eyes? Maybe these people aren't as milquetoast and as soft as we think. Maybe they're doing it intentionally. Maybe they've caved intentionally. I mean, we have to put all of those things up on the bar now and ask ourselves, really ask ourselves, is there any chance a conservative movement based on all of these foundational values and beliefs could cave this many times? This many times we cave. This many times we've failed to hold the line. This many times we've been involved in and look at it again. I'm asking a question you already know the answer to. The only question that really remains is, how long are we going to go along with this? How long are we going to go along? How far are we going to go along with this? So there's this freak out about Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. I don't agree with everything they say. I don't agree with a lot of things they say. But the freak out is, it's telling. It really is. And you're making people, let me tell you what happens. And this is what I mean by saying, when I say it doesn't seem accidental. It's like, how does $14 billion just end up in the hands of terrorist networks in Africa and in the Middle East? It's not happenstance. It's not a coincidence. There are no conspiracies, but there are no coincidences. It's not a coincidence that $14 billion from the state of Minnesota ends up in the hands of terrorists. That's not an accident. It's called foreign policy. Somebody's foreign policy. Your tax dollar, but somebody's foreign policy. Right now, is it accidental? Is it accidental that a Nick Fuentes goes #1 on Spotify and then Spotify decides to deplatform him after, I don't know, however many episodes or years or months of being on the platform? Right when he goes #1, they kick him off the platform. You think that's accidental? It doesn't seem accidental to me. It only makes him more popular. They know that. We know that here in the audience. When Mark Levin goes out there and screeches at the top of his lungs, it only makes him more popular. One, because he doesn't present a very good argument, but two, because he becomes counterculture. And we all know how counterculture works. That's how President Trump, in large part, has become as big as he is. There are still people out there to this day in this country, American citizens, who support President Trump, who voted for President Trump, who may like President Trump, but don't understand the fundamental value of President Trump's ideas and what this administration is trying to do when we say deconstruct the administrative state. There are people out there who don't even understand the rudimentaries of global finance and what we mean when we say a hemispheric strategy. There are people out there who don't even know what Mackinder's world island theory is. All the academics know, the David Frums, the George Bushes, the Kamala Harrises, and all the staffers and everybody else, they know exactly what we mean. But there are people out there who don't even fully understand why they support President Trump. They support him because he seems football fields more honest than any other politician that's ever popped up. And there's great merit to that. But a lot of it, again, is counterculture.